This demonstration will focus on scatterplots, which is a quick way to see if there's a linear relationship between two variables. We'll use the file patient data, and someone has a theory that overall satisfaction and being responsive to patient questions might be related. The scatterplot will tell us at a glance if that's true. We'll also demonstrate an advanced feature called a scatterplot matrix. Let's open our file and begin. We'll focus on columns I and J, overall satisfaction and responsive to questions. These are two questions off our patient survey. To do a scatterplot, we simply go to Graphical Tools, and toward the bottom of the menu, you will see Scatterplots. We'll use Entire Table next. Overall satisfaction will be the Y variable, and responsive to questions will be the X factor. Once you punch OK, you immediately get this analysis. In this case, we're looking at what I would call a moderate positive relationship. Positive because as X increases, so does Y. Moderate because there's a fair degree of white space in between the dots. When we look at these, we try to mentally superimpose a straight line through the data. In this case, the software actually drew one for us. But here's a question. What if you have a lot of variables and you would like to scatterplot each of those? Do you have to spend all day going back through this menu, typing in pairs of variables? Absolutely not. For this, we have a special feature. We'll go back to patient data, go to Graphical Tools, and we'll use what's called a scatterplot matrix. We'll use the entire table next. And in this case, I'm going to dump in BMI, wait time, likely to recommend, overall SAT, responsive to questions, and the overall scores on therapist and registration. Pretty much most of our numerical variables. When we punch OK, it creates a matrix of scatterplots for us. Let me reduce this. Here you can see a rather confusing grid of scatterplots. You'll notice that we have a blank set of cells bisecting this matrix. If you were to stare at this for a couple hours, what you would realize is the upper right-hand corner of this matrix contains the same graphs as the lower left-hand corner, except we have flipped the X and Y axes. Therefore, we don't need to look at the entire matrix. We can just look at the lower left-hand corner. As I enlarge this, we're looking for patterns of interest. What do you see? Well, this looks like a particularly interesting pattern. This looks like potentially a moderate positive relationship, possibly this one as well, and maybe this one. The technique called correlation would let us know for certain the degree to which there is a significant relationship. Can you imagine a cause and effect or fishbone diagram where in the head of the fish you have a Y variable that is continuous? As you've brainstormed all the potential X factors, we now have data for all the continuous X's versus the Y. This would be a very efficient way to slam through a lot of data quickly and see if X in any way potentially impacts Y. So this is a great tool to have visually, and if you want more information about this, the statistical tool that goes with the scatterplot is called correlation, and we'll see that a little bit later in the course. So this is your new friend, the scatterplot and the scatterplot matrix.